Hello everyone, welcome to our 12 days 12 use case webinar series. In today's webinar, we will be creating mobile apps for one of the popular grocery website, GrocerApp. We will be using GrocerApp website to demonstrate that how you can use Twinr to convert any grocery websites into mobile apps. So if you have a grocery website and using any website technologies such as WordPress, WooCommerce, Wix or Squarespace or any other technologies, then you can use Twinr to create mobile apps out of it. So now let's start creating mobile applications for the grocer website. Okay, so first step here is to create an application. So let's do that. To create an app, I'll click on this create app button and then we need to select a template here. So our GrocerApp is an e-commerce platform, e-commerce website. So I'm gonna go with the e-commerce template. Let's click on it. And then we need to provide the application name, which is GrocerApp, right? The next one is the website. So let me copy the website as well, which is this one. Website platform, they are using React. And then there are two new options here, which is remove header and remove footer. So from Twinr 2.0, we are introducing Twinr automation engine. Now Twinr automation engine can do a lot of automated work for you. The one thing, they will be able to automatically identify certain screens based on your industry, right? So for example, if you are in e-commerce industry, right, then it will automatically identify maybe card screen, account screen, shop screen for you, right? But it really depends on the structure of your website, right? So then the next thing is about remove header and footer, the two options that we have here. So what does this mean basically? When, for example, you are converting your website into mobile apps, right? So you have this header in the website here, but usually we don't really prefer to use it because for the cart we might have a dedicated cart screen, so we don't really need this icon, right? Hamburger menu, we might use the native hamburger menu, so we don't need this one as well. For categories as well, this is very important screen, so instead of going from here, we will have a dedicated screen for this one as well, right? So this is an important part. Logo, we can again move it to the native navigation bar. Search is good as well, right? So there are certain elements that we don't really need here. Okay, so what instead we do, we basically build the native navigation bar instead of using this one, right? So that's why we remove header and footer elements from the website when we will be using it in the mobile app, because those elements are not really useful for the mobile applications, and it's always, you know, like beneficial and good to use the native elements as much as you can, right? So that's why if you will enable these two switches here, that means Twinr automation engine will automatically identify your header and footer, right? And it will remove it from the mobile application. Your website is not gonna affected by that. It's gonna be stay similar, okay? But in your mobile application, you won't be able to see the you won't be able to see the header and footer, right? So that's what the Twinr automation engine will do. And there are a lot of other things that it will be doing. Okay. So I have filled up the information here. Now let's go next, right? Now we need to enter the shop screen, card screen and account screen URL here. So in the GrocerApp, we don't have any shopping screen, but instead we have a category screen because it's a grocery application, grocery website. So category screen does make sense to me, right? The next one is card screen. So let me copy the card screen as well. So this one is our card screen. And then the last one is account screen. So let's go here and click on the profile. So you see that right now I'm on the login screen, but basically it's gonna redirect me to the profile screen. So instead of login, okay, what I'm gonna use this URL, profile URL, and then build an application. Okay, so we have our application available here now. Okay, so we have three different options. The first one is application dashboard. The second one is the preview app. So let's go through that. Now, when you are working on your application, obviously you want to see that how your application will look like in a real device, right? So that's what the main purpose of the preview application is. When you will install this application in your Android mobile, right, you will have this screen. You will need to log in with the similar username and password for your account here, the portal account, right? And then once you will log in, you will see all the applications listed here as well. Then after, you just need to click on the application to open the preview for that. Okay, so I'll show you that how the preview will look like later on once we'll get there. But if you have an Android device, then I would highly recommend installing this application. and you will have a live preview in your mobile. Okay, if you don't have an Android device, then we do have a integrated simulated devices as well in the portal that also you can utilize. So I'll explain about that as well later on once we'll get there. Okay, the next button is a delete application button, which is pretty straightforward to understand that. Okay, so now let's get inside the application and start setting it up. So the first thing here in the setup guide, we have a preview app, which we already discussed about, right? The second one is branding. So after the preview app, we are going to set up the branding, and then we have a app theme, and then we have a customized screen. So I'm going to go through all these 4 steps one by one. Okay. There are other 2 things, which is a live chat. So whenever you have any questions while you are working on your application, you can always reach out to us, our supports from here through live chat, and someone will help you over the chat here. The next one is step-by-step guide to create your application. So we have created a video tutorial series where you will have all the information about step-by-step process from start to end, how you can create your application. Okay, so you can go through these videos as well. Okay, now let's go to the first thing, which is a setup branding. So go to the branding section here, which is this one, right? Now under the branding section, as you can see here, my application name is already available. So whatever name I will be selecting here, right, it will look like this, GrocerApp. The next 2 other things, the 2 other fields here are iOS bundle ID and Android package name. So we don't really need to worry about it right now, because this information is required when we want to publish Android and iOS application on stores. So we are good for now. Okay, now next is application icon. So the default icon is already here. So you see that whatever icon you will upload here, it will become your app icon. So when user will install an application, that's how it will look like. Okay, so let's upload the original icon here, which is I have it here, logo.jpg, this one. Yeah, update this. So you see now the icon will look like this, right? Now let's go to the launch screen here. And launch screen means when user will open an application, right, they will be able to see this screen first. So you can say that it's kind of a branding screen as well, right? So for your brand purpose, you can prepare this screen and give your users a good highlight about your brand. Okay, so let's upload the launch screen as well, which is this one here. Open it, and this is my launch screen, right? Update it. Perfect. So that's how my launch screen is going to look like. And then the last one is app permissions. Now app permissions are really important section here, because for example, in your website or in your application, you want to ask for a camera permission, or maybe in your website, for example, there is a edit profile section where user can upload their profile picture. Now, if it's a website, then obviously they can directly select the photo and all those things, right? But in the mobile application, you have 2 different options, which is either they can capture the photo from camera directly, or they can select the photo from photo library, the mobile photo library, right? So to access the camera and the photo library, we'll need to ask the permission from the user. We cannot directly access it. Okay, so when we ask for that permission, right, the permission will have one kind of a message displayed there, that why we are looking for this permission. You need to provide a proper purpose message there, that for what purpose you are asking for a camera permission from your users. And this is really important, because if you will not provide a proper purpose message, right, then it's highly possible that Apple is gonna reject your application. Okay, they will say that your purpose message is not good, okay, or it's not aligned with the use case that you are asking the permission for. So please fix it and submit it again. They're gonna come up with this reason. Okay, so to save some time there and to not go through that Apple rejection process, I would highly recommend utilizing this section. Now let's go to the camera permission first. So you see the camera, under the camera permission, there is 2 different fields here, which one of them is message, the another one is permission rational message. Okay, so the message is that, for example, your application, your user is using your application for the first time, right? and the first time we are asking them for a camera permission. Okay, now when we ask them for a camera permission for the first time, this message will be displayed there, that okay, like like for this purpose we need your camera permission, allow or don't allow, like that. Now it's possible that at that point user might not be convinced and they will deny the permission, right? That's totally possible. So now in that situation they will not be able to access the camera, right? But if they are not able to access the camera, they might be able to access the photo library or anything else, right? Or later on, for example, they are coming back to your application again, and now they are again trying to update the profile picture, but this time they want to use the camera again, but they have denied the permission previously, so obviously they cannot use it anymore, right? So what could be the solution here? The solution here is a permission rational message. So now obviously we have asked the permission first time, so we cannot ask it again. It's not allowed by Apple and Android, Apple and Play Store side. Okay, they do not allow to do that. Okay, so the fallback situation here is to ask for the permission rational message. That means if user has denied the permission and next time when they will try to access the camera, okay, because now permission is denied, they cannot use it. So what we will do, we will display a pop-up, an alert message, okay, with this particular text, that we are asking a camera permission for these things. Please click on the settings button to change the camera permission status. So what does this mean basically? So when we will display, when there will be an alert pop-up displayed on the screen, there will be two buttons, cancel button and the settings button. Okay, so when user will click on the settings button, it will directly bring them to your application setting, from where they will see the camera permission is disabled right now, and they will just toggle the button and then enable the permission. And then after, when they will come back to application again, they will be able to access the camera. Okay, so permission rational message in this situation is gonna be a savior here, because it will ask your users to opt in for this kind of features again, right? And then they will guide, and it will also guide them that you had denied the permission earlier, but that's totally fine. You can click on this setting button, right? Go to the settings and then enable it again, right? Okay, so I'm gonna enable this permission, camera permission, which is good. Photo library as well. Okay, all the permissions that we have listed here, all the permissions will have two messages: permission normal message and the rational message. Okay, microphone, I don't need it right now really, so I'm gonna skip that. App tracking transparency. So app tracking transparency is really useful. The first use case is you have a GDPR compliance, right? So for example, if your website displays a cookie pop-up or something, right? So that pop-up will be displayed in your mobile application as well. Now, because you are asking for a cookie permissions and everything, you have a cookie policies and everything, right? You must ask for app tracking transparency permission in your iOS application. Okay, this is only for iOS apps. This is not really related to Android. Okay, Android is gonna work out of the box, so don't worry about it. But for iOS, you must enable this permission if your application falls under GDPR compliance. Okay, now the second use case is that you might want to track your users, right, to better recommend them and to better get some information that how your users are using the application, and then you want to get some insight on that, right? So for that purpose as well, you might need app tracking transparency permission. Okay, again, this is only for iOS. Android doesn't really require this permission. Okay, so for this one as well, let's enable this permission for now. Okay, just for the demo purpose. And again, for this permission as well, we have two messages, message and the permission rational message. Save it as a draft. Now, location permission. Okay, so if we look at the website here, then the website is actually the grocery application, grocery website, right? And they have the permission here, the location here as well, that at which location you are currently using the website or the application. So obviously we need location permission in our application, right? So let's go to the location, enable this permission, okay, and save it as a draft. Perfect. All good here. we have all the 5 permissions set up, right? We don't really need microphone, but we did enable all other 4 permissions. So our branding setup is done. Now let's go to the application theme here. Okay, but before going to the application theme, now let's see first of all that how our application is looking like. Okay, so for that I have a preview application here, and as you can see that Grocer application is listed in my list here, right? Let's click on this one, and then we see the launch screen there, right? And now you see, because I had enabled the app tracking transparency permission, it is asking me for that permission here as well. And you see this message, please allow this permission, so you can, yeah, so this is the message that we have set up there. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I'm selecting allow for now. So, and now the next thing is that we did enable the location permission as well. We did tell them that we need location permission to see from where you are purchasing the grocery, right? So let's allow this permission, allow while using an application. Okay, perfect. So all good then. Now the next thing we need to see here is about all the 4 screens that we had created. Okay, home, shop, cart and account. Okay, now home, shop, cart and account, the 4 screen that we had created earlier. So all these screens are available here. We have a title native navigation bar here, which has the title home at the top. So everything is good. All 4 screens are working as expected. Here we can see categories, here we can see cart, here we can see account. So everything looks good here. Okay, perfect. Now under our app theme, so basically app theme means I want to highlight or I want to match the branding guidelines that I have on my website. Okay, because I want to match my application to have a similar branding guidelines, right? Because mobile apps are using a lot of native components. Okay, it's not going to use your website branding guidelines automatically. So to do that, to fix that thing, what you can do, you can set up your app theme here. Okay, that okay, for the tab bar color I'm going to use this color, for selected unselected colors, a background color and everything you can set it up from here. Okay, so if I look at my website GrocerApp right now, then you see like their branding guidelines are running around one of the orange color, the another one is the black color, and then the white background. Okay, so what I'll do for the selected icons, so right now if I go to my application here, so you see for the selected icons here I can see the black color, but instead for the selected icon and text I want to use the orange color. Okay, so let me do that and let me use the orange color here, which is EE7E25. Okay, this one is the orange color that we need. Save it as a draft and let's reload this. Okay, so you see now the text is of the orange color, but the icons are still of the black color, which we're gonna fix once we will go to the screen section and customize it. Okay, now the next one here is navigation bar. So for the navigation bar, I'm gonna keep the title color black as it is, whatever we have here, right? For the background color, I'm gonna keep it white as it is. Title font size, maybe I can increase it to maybe 2 pixels more, so to make it little bit bigger. So let's reload this and you see now our title is a bit bigger, right? Then the title image height and width. So we're gonna work on it later on once we will use the title image here. And all the other settings, I'm gonna keep it as it is by default for now. Okay. So our theme setup is done. Now let's go to the screens menu and start setting up the screen here. So when I was discussing about the previous preview application, I told you guys that if you don't have an Android device, then you can use a simulated devices as well. So this is what the simulated device is. Okay, so if you don't have Android and iOS devices, you can use it. Okay, and right now I'm not going to use it because I do have my preview application installed in the mobile. So let me close that. Okay, so under the screen section, the first thing first is we see the general settings, and under the general settings we have all the customization options, which is URL policy, remove elements, CSS scripts, cart refresh and all those things, right? So usually when I work on an application, right, the first thing I'll do is I work on remove elements, because what I do, Whatever elements which is not really useful in the mobile applications, I just remove them. Okay, so let's start by removing those elements that we don't really need in the mobile application, and then after we will do the further customization step by step. Okay, so the first of all, if I look at the website here, then we have a hamburger menu. So what I am thinking that I will be creating a native hamburger menu instead of this one, so we can remove the hamburger button from the header. So let's do that first. Now I will select the hamburger button, and this is what the hamburger button is, right, which is JSS 151, and then okay, and then let's see if this is the unique element or not. Not really. I think JSS 151 is being used at two places, which is this one, delivering to is also using that text, and this button is also using that text. But there is one difference here. The hamburger button is of type button, and this text is of element span. Okay, so to fix that, to basically remove the button, what we can do, let's first copy this element JSS, the class name JSS 151. Okay, let's go to the portal here. Under the remove element, we write down the class name, which is JSS 151. Now because this is a class name, we need to append dot at the start, and then after that, inside the square bracket, we can write that we want to remove the element if it's type of button. Okay, so you can do this as well. This is one more technique to remove the elements and be more specific about it, that it should be of class JSS 151, but at the same time the type should be button. That's what this will do for us. Save it as a draft, go here and reload this. So you see, now the delivering to is still there, but the button is gone. Okay, so that's done. Now the next thing is that I don't want to really display this logo here. Okay, instead I will be displaying it in the navigation bar on the top here. Okay, so let's remove the logo as well. Let's find out the logo element. So click on this little arrow icon, select the logo, and then here we have again, this one is the logo, JSS 221, which is our image element. Let's find out if it's the unique element or not. So as you can see that we found out it at only two places. So one of them is actually the existing CSS class, and another one is the element itself. So that is, this class name is already being used at one element. So this is unique. Let's copy this, go here and append dot at the start because it's a class name, and then the class name itself. Save it as a draft. Now I'm adding all these things inside the general settings because I want to remove it from all the screens altogether. Okay, otherwise we can have a remove element section at the screen level as well, like this, but because I want to remove all these elements from all the screens, that's why I'm defining this at the general settings level. Okay, now let's go to app again and reload this. So logo is gone as well. Okay, now I want to keep this delivering to because this is kind of useful element for this application, so I'm gonna keep that element. Now what I want to remove here is the cart, because now we have a dedicated screen for the cart here, so I don't really need the cart button there. Okay, again select this little arrow icon and click the cart button here. Okay, so our cart button is here, which is JSS 234, right? So let's copy this and again paste it here. So you see, like again it's only being used at two places. So one of them is the existing CSS class and the another one is the element itself. So this is again unique for the card. Let's copy this, go here, dot and the class name, and save it as a draft. Go here and let's reload this. Okay, so cart button is gone as well, right? And now what we need to remove is this category button here, because we have a category dedicated category screen available here, so we don't really need that button at the top. Okay, perfect. So let's remove that as well. Select the categories element, and then as we can see here that okay, categories is here, which is JSS 388. Okay, again let's verify that it's a unique element. Sorry, I just want JSS 388. Yes. Okay, so that's also found at two places. So again, this is unique. So let's copy that and add this here, save it as a draft, go to the application again and reload this. Okay, so that's gone, and now our search bar is in the full width, which is really good. That's what I wanted. Okay, now let's go to our website again and let's verify that these elements are gone from everywhere. So you see, like if I'm switching the screen here, it's gone from home, shop, cart and account, from everywhere. Okay, but one thing I realize here that I don't really need to use this location element and the search element on the shop screen. Shop screen is fine, but I don't really need to use it at the card screen and the account screen because those are not related, right? For the shop screen as well, I do have these categories and everything inbuilt here, right? So I don't really think that we need to use it here as well. So instead of keeping these elements here, on in shop, cart and account, I can remove the header completely in these three screens, right? So what I will do, I'll select that header element all itself. So let's see that where is our header. Yeah, so this is our header element. So as you can see, this header element, if I'll remove this element, then basically it's gonna remove everything altogether, right? But I cannot do it at the general settings, because if I'll do it at the general settings level, then it's gonna remove it from the home screen as well, which I don't want. Okay, so what I will do, I'll go to the shop screen, remove elements, and I add that element name here. Now the header is the element name itself, so I don't need to use any dot or anything, I don't need to open anything at the start. Just save it as a draft. Similarly, I go to the card screen, remove elements, add here and save it as a draft, and account screen as well, remove elements, add the element and save it as a draft. Now let's go to the app and reload this. So our home screen is as it is, there is no changes there. If I go to the shop screen, the element, the header is completely gone. If I go to the card screen, the element is gone. If I go to the account, the element is gone, right? So everything looks perfect here. Okay, perfect. So now the next part here I want to do is related to the category screen. So if I go to the category screen, I have this title here, you see, right? So let's go to the app and go to the category screen. So you see now here we have a title categories, but instead of this title, I'm gonna rename this shop title to the categories, right? So I don't really need this one from the website. So let's remove this one as well. Okay. So to do that, what I'll be doing, I'll click on this little arrow icon again, select this category. Okay. And looks like this is basically title header, and I think this is multi-typography H1. This is what the header element looks like. So let me copy this and find it out. So you see, like we have used it only two places, so this looks unique to me. Okay, so let's copy this, and this is only at the category screen. So let's go to the shop screen again, right? First of all, let's change its name to categories and save it as a draft, and then let's go to the remove elements and remove this title from the web page. Okay, understood. So there you go, and then categories, and there you go. Now that element is not there anymore. Okay, perfect. The next one is on the category screen. If I'll go to any of, if I'll visit any of the category here, you see that I see this navigation here as well, which I don't really need in the mobile application, because mobile application does follow its own navigation, right? So let's remove that as well. Select this little arrow icon and select this element, and this element is basically this nav bar element, this navigation element. Okay, and this navigation element, if I go here, then Arial label breadcrumb looks unique to me. Okay, so let's copy this element and find out if it's unique. Okay, now as we can see that it's not being used at anywhere but only this one. Okay, so let's copy this. Now this is not the class name as well. Okay, so I'll show you that how to use these kind of elements to remove the elements. Okay, So I go to the general settings under the remove elements because I want to remove this kind of navigations from everywhere throughout an application. So I again add this element to the general settings. Okay, and for this kind of elements you will need to use square bracket and add that element inside this Arial label breadcrumb name inside and save it as a draft. Okay, now let's go to the mobile application. Go to categories and vegetables, and you see now we don't see that navigation here as well. Okay, so everything is good. Now let's go to any other categories. Oh yeah, so you see it's not there anymore, so everything is good there as well. Now the next thing is about, so we basically did remove all the elements that we didn't really require, right? So the remove elements part is kind of done, and now I think the next thing we need to set it up is, let me go to the application again and show you one thing. Okay, so for example, I go to product here, right? And I'm adding this to the cart, and then I go to the cart screen, but you see, I don't really see any changes here, right? So to fix this issue, we will need to enable the cart refresh feature in our application. Okay, so let's do it. First of all, let's go to the portal, and under the cart general settings we have a cart refresh menu, and enable this. Now to enable the cart refresh integration, okay, we will need to provide the cart counter selector. So what does the cart counter selector mean? So for example, on the website I will add any product to the cart, and now I see this counter here, you see the number 1. Okay, so we need to provide the selector for this particular counter. So now again let's find it out. Select this element, and we see this number 1 inside this element, JSS 316. So let's copy this. Go here, add dot, and then the element identifier itself, and save it as a draft. Sorry, let me refresh this. Okay, cart refresh, enable this, and then add this here and save it as a draft. Okay, so cart refresh is being enabled now. So again let's go to our app, reload this, right? And I'm going to go to categories. Oops. Let me reload this again. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, milk, and then let me remove this and then add this product again. Okay, so let's go to the cart. You see now I have this product available here. Now again let's add this product here and go to the cart. You see now I have 2 products here. So now every time I will add a product to the cart from anywhere throughout an application, it's gonna refresh the cart screen. Okay, and that's what we wanted, that every time we add something, our cart screen should be up to date. Okay, so that is being fixed now. So cart refresh is being enabled, and everything is working fine. Now if I look at my application, then in terms of the UI, the one thing I need to fix is to set up my navigation bar here. Because if you remember, then we did remove the hamburger menu, we did remove the cart icon from here, we did remove some other unnecessary elements, right? So for the cart icon, first of all, I need to use the native hamburger menu, right, to fulfill, to satisfy those requirements. Another thing, we did remove the logo from here as well, from the home screen, so we need to enable that logo as well, right? Third thing is, if I click on any of the product here, then you see this back button is getting enabled here. Okay, so what I want to change that back button icon as well. Okay, so let's see how we can basically customize our navigation bar and bring all those functionalities in which we have removed from the web page. Okay, so first thing, we will first of all we will fix the home screen navigation bar. So let's go to the home screen here, and then under the navigation bar. Okay, before actually going to the navigation bar, if we all know, then we need to fix this icon color as well, you know, because it's of a black color and we want it of a orange color. So let's fix that first. So I click on the selected icon, general icons, and then let me find out the home screen, and then let me use the orange color. Okay, so then update this, okay, and save it as a draft. Okay, So now my home icon is of orange color. I go to the categories again, and categories are currently using the shop icon. So let's fix this actually, which is our gray color. And then for this one, I'm going to use EE7E25, which is our orange color, and then the category icon, and save it as a draft. Similarly for the card screen, update it and save it as a draft, and for the account similarly orange color and save it as a draft. Okay, now let's see and reload this. Okay, so you see now the home icon is also of orange color. If I go to any of the icons here, right, all of them are of, when they are selected they are orange color, when they are not selected they are of a gray color. So that's it. Okay, so we fixed that part. Now let's go to the navigation again. Under the home screen navigation bar, first of all, what we want, we did remove the logo from here, so I want it in the navigation bar here. Okay, so let's do that. To do it, what I will do, change the title type from text to an image, and then I'll upload an image here, which is my logo here, and save it as a draft. Now let's go to app and reload this. So you see I have the logo at the top. Okay, but what I want to make it little bit smaller, because this doesn't really look good right now. Okay, so to fix that issue, I'll go to app theme and title image height and title image width. That's what we need to fix. So let me change it to 50 by 50, because GrocerApp logo is of a square size, so we don't really need to use different height and width for that. It's gonna be similar. Okay, now let's go here again and reload this. So yeah, as we can see, this looks good, but I think let's change it, let's make it little bit smaller. Actually this looks very big right now. Save it as a draft and reload this. Yeah, now this looks much better. Okay, perfect. So home screen navigation bar image is good, right? Sorry, let me close this again. Okay, now we need to fix the hamburger button, because we did have the hamburger menu here, but we removed it from the web page here, so we need to bring it back as a native element. Okay, so to do that, on the left hand side I will add the hamburger button. Okay, so let me add the hamburger hamburger button here, and as you can see that I have three different styles here. Okay, now let's go to the website and we'll see that what kind of hamburger they have here. So they have a text here, and then after they have their hamburger options here. Okay, so for us I think style 2 really looks good, because we can add a logo, the brand name, and then we have options here, and then we have a divider there as well. Okay, perfect. So let's go there, and then now we need to add the menu items. Okay, so for the menu items, let me add all the menu items one by one. So first of all, for the first one, if we go to website again, then the first one is my profile. So we don't really need to use it, because in the mobile app we have a dedicated menu for that, so we're gonna skip that. Now second one is my orders, so let's add my orders as a first option here. Okay, and I'm going to upload custom icons here for that, which is this one, orders icon. Update this and then name my orders, and then the URL. So let's bring up the URL for the my orders. There will be this URL, I think so. Yes. Okay, add this menu. Now we will add another menu. Okay, so now let's see what could be the another option for us. The next one is Grocer Club. Okay, so let's upload an icon for that. So I have all the icons prepared already. Grocer Club is here. Okay, update this, and then the name will be Grocer Club, and let's bring up the URL as well. Sorry, Grocer Club, so membership, and add this. Now add another menu item. Now let's see what could be the third option. So third option here can be discount and promos. Okay, so let's use that as well. Promos, this one I'm gonna use gray color for this one. Update, discount and promos, and let's bring up the URL of discount and promos. Okay, add this. Now let's add one more menu. Okay, so I'm gonna skip live chat for now. Okay, instead I'll be adding about us and the FAQs. So let's add FAQs next. Let me copy the URL as well. FAQs, open, and then update the icon. This will be the title and this will be the URL. And the last one will be about us. So let's select the about us icon, which is this one, update it, about us, and then let's copy the about us URL, this one, and then I have all the options here, as you can see, right? We're gonna preview it in the application as well. First of all, let's go next and fix the branding here. So, okay, so now what I want to do, the menu, first of all, actually let's add this button, okay, and save it as a draft, and let's see how does it look like in the application. Okay, then let's open the hamburger menu, and you see everything is good. The few things we need to fix here is obviously the logo here, the title here, and the font size and the icon size a bit, right? And also I want to fix this divider color. Instead of using black, I want to use a light gray color here, you know. Okay, so okay, let's do that. Let's go to customize now. First of all, this icon is good. Menu text size, let's increase it to maybe 18 pixel, right? Text weight is good. Menu icon size, let's increase it to 25 pixel because those are looks very small, right? Title image, let me upload the similar logo here, this one. Okay, title text, what I'm going to use, GrocerApp, right? Title text color, maybe no, we don't need to change that really. Let's keep it black as it is. And the divider color, yes, we wanted to change the divider color, so let's use little bit of a gray color, which kind of can be E5. Yeah, this looks good. Close button, let's keep it close as it is, and everything else is good. Save it as a draft again, and let's preview this. Okay. Oh, okay, everything looks good here then. So GrocerApp, the menus looks better here, the text is good, title is good, the icon here is good. So yeah, everything looks perfect then. Okay, so our hamburger menu is done. So you see, now we did replace the web page hamburger menu with the native hamburger menu, right? And we satisfied our requirement as well with all the required options that we need here. Now I can add, remove options here as per my requirement. Okay, now another thing we need to do, as I explained before, that we need to change the back button from everywhere, right? So let's do that as well. Instead of this back button, I want to use this arrow back button. Save it as a draft, go to categories as well, navigation bar, and then general icons, update, and save it as a draft. Cart, navigation bar, back button, and the same thing, we're gonna select this back button here, save it as a draft, and the account, navigation bar, again similar thing, general icons, back button, update, and save it as a draft. Now let's go to app again and reload this. Okay, so now let me click on any of the URL here, any of the item here, sorry. So you see now our back button is different. Okay, so let's go back, and there you go. Okay, so back button is done. One thing I realized which can be more important for the grocery business is displaying, you know, like promos and discount at the front of the application. Instead of right now, we have this option hidden inside the hamburger menu, right? But you usually discount and promos attract the users, right? So what I can do, our home screen will be the first screen that user gonna see, right? So on the right hand side, we can add that button. Okay, so let me first of all copy the URL for promos and discount. Yeah, this one. and then go to the home screen. Under the navigation bar on the right hand side, I'm gonna use the linker button here, and I have the icon available with me, which is this one. Okay, update the icon and the URL will be discount and promos. Add this URL and save it as a draft again. Okay, so now we have that button on the right hand side. Let's click on it and it's gonna display uh, the discount and promo screen, which looks perfect to me. Okay, all good then. Now I think the next thing we need to do is go to the category screen, and usually, like when we work with any e-commerce websites and we convert it into mobile apps, right? Inside the mobile applications, we need one kind of a sharing button where I can share the product information directly with my friends and families, because that might be important if I want to just send a like the link to my friends that, okay, like in the GrocerApp I found this product, maybe it might interest you, or for any purpose. If I want to share with my friends or families, right, outside of this application, then how can I do that? So we have a special button for that, which is native link sharing button. So what I'll do, I'll add that button under the categories screen, go to the navigation bar, and on the right side buttons, I'll add a new button, which is native link sharing button. Let's select an icon. Here we don't need to do anything, we just need to select an icon here. So no, let's close this one actually and use the general icon. So for the sharing purpose, I have one dedicated icon for that as well, which I think this one looks perfect. Okay, add this and save it as a draft. Now let's go to the application and see how does it look like. Okay, so if we click on categories, right, and click on the share button, then you see it's opening that share kit here, right? Okay, so you see like this. Okay, so now I can share this product detail with anyone I want. Now this is right now we are sharing the categories URL or directly, but instead I can go to any of the product. I can click on any of the product like this, and I can click on the share button, and you see that now it's sharing the particular product URL. Okay, so that's how you can utilize this native link sharing button as well. Okay, which is really useful for shopping industries and these kind of grocery applications. Okay, so we did that as well. So on the screen level size, under the screens menu, we did most of the customizations that we needed. Okay, so now let's move to the next part, which is applying some extra integrations and extensions to an application. Okay, so to do that, I'll go to the add-ons menu here, and under the add-ons menu, there are multiple extensions here, and the first one that I want to fix is custom fonts. Okay, because our website is using a different font. Okay, so let's see what kind of font they are using. So they are using this font named Sora. Okay, so let's go to our custom fonts and select, find out that we have it available. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we have this font style available. So custom font basically will apply the similar font style for all the native components. Okay, so you have some of the font style and everything from your website that is being displayed in the application. Now for the native components also, you are using the similar font style. So your branding is gonna be end to end now. Okay. So our custom font feature is gonna be providing you 1400 plus different fonts. Okay, so save it as a draft, go here, and now let me reload this again. And as you can see, my font is being changed now. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the fonts are good. The next thing I want to set it up is the page loader as well, because I want to match it with my branding. So page loader means when I reload the screen, for example, you see this white loader here. Okay, so I want to fix that loader. I want to change the color of that loader as well to match my branding. So let me do that. EE7E25, which is what the color I want, right? And if I go to the customization, then I can select few styles as well. Okay, so let me select one good style. I think this looks good for the like for the grocery kind of application. Okay, so let's save it as a draft again and reload the app. Okay, so as you can see, now the loader is of that different style with the orange color. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we can utilize lot of other extensions here as well, right? But the next another important extension that I want to utilize here and I want to demo here is app onboarding. Now, app onboarding is really useful feature, right? When you want to highlight your users, so your users will install your application for the first time, and now you want to give them a highlight that what is inside the application, what you can find in the application itself, right? So if you will attract them at the app onboarding level, then it's more likely that they will be already interested, they will be already aligned with what they want, right? And then they will be using your application for more time, right? So let's set up the app onboarding here. So first of all, we need to enable this feature. Once we enable the feature, there are 8 different styles that you can use here. Okay, so for the demo purpose, I'm just gonna select the first style as it is, okay, because all the 8 style is gonna take a lot of time, so I'm not going to cover all 8 different stylings here. Okay, so let's go with the first style. Click next, and now here we have to add onboarding screen. Okay, so the onboarding screen means basically that when user will open the onboarding screen, what you want to display them there. Okay, so when we add an onboarding screen, it will ask you for 4 different things. The first thing is title, second thing is description, then after an image, and then after a background color. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the background color white as it is. Okay, but let's add a title for now, and I have this title here. So let me copy this title, then I have a description here as well. So let me copy this description as well, which is this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna select an image for this one. So first one is gonna be grocery, yeah, this one. Okay, and add this, and let's add only one screen for now, and then I'll add the other ones. Okay, so for the preview purpose, let's only add one, save it as a draft. Okay, and go here, and let's see that how does it look like. Okay, first of all, we need to go back and then come back to our application again. So you see now that now before I see anything else, now I see the app onboarding screen. Okay, so I do have a really nice done button here. I have an indicator here as well, which only displays only single element, but there should be more element once we'll add more screens. Okay, now this is the image, my title here, and then I have a description as well, very well aligned here. Okay, now let's go here again and actually add more screens, and then we will do some branding, customize color and all those customizations as well. Okay, so for the second screen as well, I have the title already prepared. So let me copy this. This is my title, and then I'm gonna get the description as well. This is my description, and then let's go here and bring the payment.png, open it and add this. Okay, this is my second screen, and now let's add the third screen as well. So third screen is gonna be this one, manage your shopping list, and then the description is available here as well. Okay, and then for that I'm going to use this card image and add this. Now let's move this to the second position next and save it as a draft. Okay, now let's go here, reload this again, and you can see now we have, instead of a done button, we have a skip button, right? Because we have 3 different screens here. So let me swipe this, you see, and once I'll reach to the next the last screen, okay, the skip button is gonna be changed from skip to done. So if I'll go to previous screen again, it's done. If I go to previous screen, then it's a skip button. If I go to the last one, then it's a done button. And you see the indicator style here. So if I have completed 2 screens, then the 2 indicators are filled up and the one is still remaining. Okay, So all these things are customizables at the end. Okay, you can customize everything. You can customize the white background as well. If you want to change this white background to something else, you can do that as well. Okay, so now let's do some customizations. Title text size, title text weight, and title text color. Everything looks good to me for now, so I'm not going to change that. Description text, text weight and text color is also good for me. Skip button is also good for me, so I'm gonna keep it as it is, right? The next thing, or maybe like for the skip button, let's change the background color to the branding one, which is EE7E25. Okay, text color will keep it white because that's okay. For the done button as well, I'm gonna change the background color to EE7E25. Okay, then we have an indicator style here. So indicator style means this particular indicator, right? So let's change the selected indicator to orange, EE7E25. And then for the unselected, I'm gonna keep it black as it is. Indicator types, we have 5 different indicator types here. Right now those are arrows, right? But you can select circle as well, you can use diamond as well. Okay, you can use pentagon, square as well. So let's use circle for now for the demo purpose, but I really like the arrows that we have right now. Yeah, you see, that's how it's gonna change the branding now. I mean the color and everything, you see, everything is done. So we have orange color here and everything. Okay, everything is perfect. So either I can skip it. Once I will skip it, it's gonna bring me to my application, right? Or if I want now, whenever you skip and you finish the onboarding in the preview application, if you want to re-enable it again, you need to go back to your app, go back to the outside of your application, and then click on the app again. So you see, you will be seeing the onboarding again here. Now let's go here and then click on the done button. It's doing the same thing, bringing me to the application, right? So the app onboarding is really useful, and I would highly recommend utilizing this feature. Okay, now the next important part for any e-commerce, for any shopping website, right? I would highly recommend utilizing the push notifications as well. Okay, so let's enable the push notification. So first of all, our existing feature, which is a Firebase push notification, right? So which is already existing right now. So since Twinr 2.0, from this launch, we have added 2 more push notification type, which is personalized push notification and abundant cart push notification. Okay, so if I go to personalized push notification, then let's enable this as well. I can't right now because it says that we must enable Firebase push notification before we use this. Okay, so let's do that. Let's enable Firebase first of all. Provide the files that it requires, info.plist file, and if we go here, then it needs JSON file. Okay, submit it, and everything is good. So let's go back. This one is activated. So basically generalized push notification is activated now. Okay, which is pretty simple. Okay, now let's go to the personalized push notification. Okay, so what does the personalized push notification means? First of all, so generalized push notification means we can send push notification to broad audience, right? Like multiple users at the same time. While on the opposite side, personalized means you can send notification to any single user. Okay, so let's understand in the context of the grocery application, order tracking. If someone has ordered something online, now I want to know that what's my order status is. Okay, so I want to get notified about my whenever my order status has changes, right? So at that point we can use personalized push notification features, because I cannot use generalized notification for that, right? Because each and order is connected to a single user, so I want to only notify that particular user and not the broader audience. Okay, so to enable the personalized push notification, we just need to enable this, right? And then here we can see it's asking us for the webhook URL. So what is the webhook URL? Let's understand that from the documentation. Okay, so here I have a personalized push notification documentation. Okay, so now if we see here, then the webhook URL is basically a post request URL. Okay, so you need to prepare one post request a webhook from your side, okay, which should accept information like this. So what we will be doing, whatever URL you will provide here to us, okay, whatever information you will provide here to us, right, on this URL we will be submitting this information. Now what is this information? The first information is token. Okay, token means whatever the device is currently the user is using. Okay, each and every device has their unique token, unique device IDs, okay, which is required to send push notifications, right? So we will be sending that token to you, that okay, whoever is currently registering or using your application, this is their device token. Okay, now second thing is about email address or username or whatever your login process is asking. So in this situation they are asking for the mobile number. Okay, so here in the email address field, the field name is basically email underscore address, but you can expect a phone number in the field as well. Okay, it can be phone number as well. So the token, then the email address, right? The email address will be a phone number here because that's unique and that's what user is using here for to log in the inside the application, right? And then the platform is Android or iOS. Okay, now you will get this information, token, email address and platform. If user will not be logged in right now, so for example we are asking for the email push notification permission, right? User allowed it, and but user is currently not logged in right now, then we will not be sending this information. As of now we won't be sending it. Okay, but as soon as user will log into the application, because once they will try to, once they will try to purchase a order or place an order on your inside the application, you must be asking them to log in before they place an order, right? So at that point they will be obviously logging in, right? So once they will log in, we will have the information that okay, user is logged in with this particular information, phone number or email or whatever you have in your login process, right? So next time, as soon as we will get this login information that okay, we got the user information as well, we will again submit the similar information, similar token, similar platform, but the email address will be available this time. Okay, so previously we sent two information, but now as soon as we get the email information, we will get this token again with all these three information to the similar URL. Okay, so from your side, what you need to do when you get this information, okay, you need to store this information under your database. That okay, this is the user the user ID or whatever you have, right? This is the token and this is the platform. Now once you want to send a push notification, whatever your backend is, for example if you are using Node or the Laravel or Ruby on Rails, Python, Java, or whatever backend platform you are using, even if you are using Shopify or WordPress as well, okay, there are plugins available that you can use to send push notification, personalized push notification. You can automate this process as well. Okay, so now we have provided this information to you, so you have a complete full flexibility that how you want to utilize this information and how you want to send notification to your users. Okay, so for now I'm gonna use any dummy URL, okay, and save it as a draft. Now you just need to provide the webhook URL here. Everything else will be taken care by our platform, by Twinr. All the how to find out the email address, token, platform, to passing out the information to the webhook URL. Everything is being handled, taken care by us. The only thing you need to provide is webhook URL, and once you provide the URL and once we submit a response there, okay, you should just accept that response and then basically you utilize that information however you want it. Okay, so personalized push notification is done. Now let's go to the next one, and the next one is abandoned cart notification. Okay, so abandoned cart notification means user is trying to purchase something. So right now if I go to the cart screen, I have two items in my cart, but I'm not purchasing it. I'm not finishing the order. I'm not placing an order right now. That means I'm keeping those items as it is in my cart, which I don't really want to do that, right? So what I want to do, instead, I really want to remind the user that you have few items in your cart. Please place an order, right? You might want to place an order. You might forget to place an order. Okay, I want to remind them. And now these kind of reminders, these kind of notifications, it's really gonna help you to grow your business, grow your revenue. Okay, because abandoned cart push notifications are highly utilized feature and highly used features in e-commerce applications, in shopping applications. Okay, and if you are using any e-commerce applications like Amazon, for example, right, then they are also using abandoned cart push notification as well. As soon as you add some products, after some time Amazon will remind you that you have some items in the cart. Do you want to place an order? Okay, and that's how they increase, they generate their more, basically they get their abundant users back. Okay, okay, so now let's enable this feature. Okay, now for the cart identifier type, it's by default it's a selector. Okay, but you can use a script as well. So for example, so in some of the websites I have seen that instead of using the counter here, they don't really use counter. Basically they use a little dot here, that if there is any card, they just display a little dot there, but they don't display a counter, right? So in that situation you can use a script type here, counter identifier type to script. Okay, and write down your script here. Now that script should be something like this. Okay, let me explain that how that. Okay, that script should be something like this. So if there is any item in the cart, okay, so if there is any item in the cart, so basically if cart is not empty, then it should return false. If cart is empty, then it should return true. Okay, so cart is not empty, then it will return false. That means the cart is abundant. Okay, so if there is any items, if there are items in the cart, then return false. If there are no items in the cart, then return true. Okay, so that's what this the purpose of this script is. Now you can use this script based on your purpose, however you want to utilize this. Okay, perfect. Now next thing we need to, let me change this back to selector again. Cart identifier I have already filled up here because I have the cart refresh feature enabled. So basically it is automatically using this information from there. Now I need to provide the notification title. So notification title means that's how it will look like. Let's go here. So you see, once user will receive a notification, okay, the title will be displayed like this and the description will be displayed like this. Okay, so based on this information you need to decide that what could be the notification title here. So for me, what I want to use, do you remember how much you wanted this? Let's use this. Okay, and then the notification message might be something like this. Okay, so it looks like you are almost there, and whatever the notification basically you provide there. Okay, now the notification schedule. So after how much time or how many days you want to remind them that you have abundant cart. So for me, I want to remind them immediately, maybe within a day, within a 24 hours. So, and I want to remind them continuously for 3 days, right? So maybe that's how like you can decide your timeline here, your schedule here, that how frequently. So for example, once you will write 1 2 3, user will get a notification on first, second and third days after the abundant cart. Okay, and the notification click URL. So when user will click on that notification in the app, right, where do you want to redirect them? So the most important screen for me right now is the cart screen, that whenever they click on that notification, I want to bring them to the cart screen, right? So let's select the enter the cart URL here and then save it as a draft. And that's pretty much it. Abundant cart push notification is set up, and then it's gonna work whatever you have set up here. Okay, you cannot preview abundant cart notifications in the preview app. Okay, so if you want to test this feature that it is working fine or not inside your application, basically you need to go to the app build section and generate an Android and iOS build and then install it in your devices and then test it. Okay, similarly for the personalized push notification as well, basically all these 3 push notifications you cannot test it in the preview app because of some operating system limitations. We cannot provide this functionality to test it in the preview app. Okay, so I did this as well. Okay, one more thing left here for me, which is extensions. And under the extensions, I have one more option, which is app review. So when user, for the grocery kind of applications and for e-commerce applications, always app review is really important, right? Because the more reviews you have, the more trust you are generating for your users, right? So all these app reviews, that you can collect. Okay, you can ask it manually as well. You can ask it by email as well to your users, but we do have a feature where you can ask reviews inside the application itself. So to use this feature, just enable this, and you just need to provide your schedule here. Okay, that how. So now the schedule is different here. So schedule means app open counts. Okay, so after how many times user opens your application and then you want to ask for a review, that's what this app open count means. Okay, so every time user opens an application, close it, opens an application, close it, right, and opens again. So that's three times, right? So for example, if you will write it 3 here at the first starting point, then after 3 times they will open an application, it will ask for an application review. Okay, so you should basically design this app review schedule based on how frequently users usually use your application. If they are using very frequently, then this number should be higher actually. Like after 10 times they open an application, I want to ask for a review, because we want to ask a review only when you see that they are confident enough. They are confident enough that, and they are happy with the application, then only we want to ask for a review. Otherwise, if we ask it immediately, then obviously first of all they can cancel it, they just reject to review. The second thing, they might give you a bad reviews as well, and we don't want to do that, right? So to save from there, what I will try to do here is that ask them when you feel that your application's users are using application very frequently. So ask them after 10 times, because anyway if they will be opening application 10 times within 3 to 4 days, then it's enough time for them to like understand the application, to find out the application features, everything, right? And then there are more chances that they will give you a good review after this. Okay, so 10, 15 and maybe 20, that could be my ideal like a previous schedule for this one. And then just save it as a draft, and that's it. So now once user will open application 10 times, okay, it will ask for a review for the first time. Now after the 15 times, it will ask it again if user has not already reviewed. So for example, when you ask it for the first time and user already provided the review, then the 15 and 20 gonna be discarded. It's not going to ask them again. Okay, and another thing that you need to make sure that if you will write down something like this, that every time they open an application and you want to ask it, that's not going to work out as well, because operating system itself, like Apple and iOS itself, will discard those requests, because they will find out that you are asking it too much. Okay, so even though we will try to request a review from the user, okay, Apple and Android will not display the pop-up there. They will say that no, you're asking too frequently, you cannot ask it too frequently. They will just reject the request. It's not gonna be displaying any error to the user, okay, but it's basically not do anything. They will just reject the request there. Okay, now let's save it as a draft. And I think we covered a lot of features here, a lot of new things here, right? We covered the branding setup, app theme setup, screen customizations. We had enabled few important extensions and integrations for this particular application, and then I think we have end-to-end application ready in just, I think, in 1 hour. The next step is to go to the app build, request a build, and submit it to Play Store and App Store accounts very easily. So that's it for this webinar, and I'll see you guys in the next one. In the meantime, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, you can always reach out to us via our live chat, or you can send us an email on hello@twinr.dev. You can also refer to our help documentation at help.twinr.dev for the detailed information. So thank you again, and thanks for joining us in this webinar.